Who does a helpful listing agent represent during a buyer showing? The tempting answer here is buyer, but only helpful behavior does not result in any representation. At first, pause and separate assistance from legal representation. Before you answer any agency-related question on the real estate exam, stop and ask one thing. Who does the agent actually represent? And in this lesson, you'll learn how to identify who's the principal, the agent, and the customer. We'll recognize express and implied agency and avoid exam traps writers use to confuse helpful conduct with legal representation. By the end, you'll have a simple 3-step method that you can use to solve agency-related questions confidently. Agency is a relationship where an agent represents a principal. The principal is the client whose interests receive representation. The agent acts for the client within the agency relationship. A customer may receive service without becoming the agent's client. In seller agency, the listing agency represents the seller. In a buyer agency, the buyer becomes the represented principal. Kimo assumes that a helpful listing agent must represent the buyer. Ivalani says that integrity and honesty does not create a buyer representation agreement. Express agency comes from the spoken or written agreement. Written listing or buyer agreements commonly establish express agency. An implied agency can arise through conduct, making it an exam trap. Watch conduct carefully because it may signal unintended representation. Express agency is agreed, while implied agency is inferred from conduct. Now remember Old CAR as a quick fiduciary duty preview. It stands for the core duties owed to the represented principal. For now, focus on who receives those duties and agency representation. David's example starts with a seller and a listing agent. A buyer receives access and property facts during a showing. Those helpful actions do not make the listing agent the buyer's agent. The listing agent still owes duties to the seller principal. Agency agreements and disclosures can vary by state, so review locally. Try this exam question before you reveal the answer. Does helpful access automatically create buyer representation for the agent? No, helpful service alone does not establish an agency relationship. Representation requires an agency relationship, not simple professional courtesy, honesty, and integrity. On every question, identify the principal before choosing an answer. Next, identify the agent connected to that principal. Then determine the duty owed within that specific relationship. This simple sequence turns agency questions into manageable exam decisions. So before you go, remember this 3-step agency rule. First, identify who's the principal, the person being represented. Second, identify the agent. Third, determine what duties that the agent owes to the principal. Never just assume that an agent represents someone simply because an agent is helpful. Look for the agreement, examine the party's conduct, and identify the actual agency relationship. Now, test yourself. A listing agent provides a buyer with the property facts and showing access. Does that automatically make the listing agent the buyer's agent? The answer is no. Assistance alone does not automatically establish the representation agency agreement. So remember, Old CAR Hawaii: obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, and reasonable care. HI, that stands for honesty and integrity that we owe to everybody. Subscribe to the Real Estate Pro Academy and let's get you ready to pass your real estate exam.